Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
So we have a few pictures of you sent into our Eyewitness portal. Let's begin with this one. It's from Abeokuta-Idofa Road in Olorunda area of Ogun State. It shows a displaced woman and her child. That picture will come up shortly. Our reporter wants the government to take custody of the child. And there it is. Our next photo is sent in from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. Shows a flooded road. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the government to construct deeper drains to stop the floods. We go next to Akwatata Road in Efurun area of Delta State. It shows a flooded road, which our Eyewitness reporter wants state authorities to fix. Well, back in Lagos, in Obalende is where this picture was taken. It shows a large pothole in the middle of the road. Our Eyewitness reporter wants government to pay attention. Finally, we're back in Lagos, but in the Ikorodu area. We're seeing a picture of a bad road. Our reporter is calling on state authorities to help reconstruct it.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The trial of the Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, today stalled at the Code of Conduct Tribunal. A trial which was supposed to continue did not hold following a letter by the prosecutor, Mr. Rotimi Jacobs, indicating that the chief witness, Mr. Michael Wetkas, will be testifying at another case. No date has been set for the continuation of the trial. The Senate President is standing trial for alleged falsification of his assets declaration while he served as governor of Kwara State. Families of the victims of the 2012 Dana plane crash are demanding the immediate release of the final report on the crash by the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. The crash, which occurred in the Iju area of Lagos, claimed the lives of 153 passengers on board. Addressing a news conference in Abuja on the 4th anniversary of the incident, chairman of the families of the victims, Mr. Paul Okweleyi, appealed to the federal government to compel the management of Dana Air to complete the payment of compensation to the affected families.
And the immediate release of final reports of the accident investigation of that plane crash and the steps that has been taken to address the lapses. Number 2, we demand that prompt and complete payment of compensation to families of victims is effected. Number 3, we wish to intensify advocacy, and we urge everybody here on board, and indeed all Nigerians, to join the Safer Skies Nigeria Foundation, which is an umbrella organization, as I said earlier, for all Nigerians to come together now to do the best they can to help make aviation safety number 1, at least in Africa.
It's been a day of protests in Kwara and Oyo states where students and union leaders demonstrated against the non-payment of lecturers' salaries and alleged plans to hand over schools to private owners. However, both state governments have appealed for calm and demanded the option of dialogue in resolving the disputes.
Students of the College of Arabic and Islamic Legal Studies protesting in front of their school. They are showing solidarity with their lecturers whose salaries have not been paid for 10 months, resulting in a warning strike by the lecturers.
By Monday, if solution has not been done by Monday, by the power conferred on me as the speaker of this college, and by the power I'm endowed with as the speaker of this college, I'll make sure we will come down to the government house.
More worrisome to the students and the lecturers is that the government appears not definite on how and when the salary arrears will be paid.
Presently, we have given them, we wrote to give them 3-day warning strike. After which, this 3-day warning strike begins today. Today, tomorrow, and next tomorrow, that's Friday. If nothing positive comes out of it, by Monday, we may possibly declare total and definite strike.
During an interaction with journalists to mark his 5th year in office, the state governor had advised against the strike promising to pay the salaries before the end of this month.
If you're agitating for a benefit and the money is there, but you are not being paid because of policy, then you can strike. You can see that policy will change, then you will get money. Every effort required to ensure that we have a smooth salary payment system is what I'm putting in place.
Another scene of protest in Ibadan. The future of public secondary schools is in question here as union leaders march into a forum organized to discuss the matter. They are condemning what they describe as a move by the state government to sell public schools to private concerns.
The government is trying to privatize the secondary schools in Oyo State, which we realize that if it should be done, many people will be deprived of having secondary education in the state.
Misinformation, rumor mongering, conspiracy, propaganda, violence, and other retrogressive vices, which we have apparently and gladly overcome, will not be allowed in any manner and in any circumstance to reverberate in the state.
The unions may have genuine ground for their action against the state governments. However, dialogue must be given due consideration to avoid any breakdown of law and order.
Let's take you now to Abuja, where Yemisi Paye has more on the news at 10. Hi, Yemisi, great to see you.
Hello, Amarachi. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the nation's capital. Two members of the People's Democratic Party in the House of Representatives have defected to the All Progressives Congress. In separate letters read on the floor of the House, the lawmakers, one from Anambra State and the other from Benue State, informed the House that they are leaving the PDP due to its lingering leadership crisis. The minority leader of the House, Leo Ogo, however, rejects the move and vows that the PDP will take legal action against the lawmakers. Our correspondent, Larry Lasisi, reports.
The day's plenary had started without any hint of what was to come. The Speaker of the House then called attention to a letter from Representative Tony Nwoye, a member of the People's Democratic Party from Anambra State, which he read to the House.
Together with multiple pending court actions and pronouncement in different courts recognizing and/or restraining each of the factions, the party's national secretariat at Wadata Plaza has been sealed because of the crisis. Sir, I do not belong to any of these three factions. I hereby notify you of my decision to join All Progressives Congress, APC. Minority Leader, what is your point of order?
Immediately, the minority leader raised a point of order.
As a PDPnarian, I can tell you categorically that no court in this land has declared that there is a faction in PDP. I therefore insist, Mr. Speaker, that if he really wants to be a member of APC, let him go to his constituency and test his popularity. He can vacate the seat, which is going to be your responsibility to do. He will go and test his popularity in Anambra and see whether he can win a councillor without the party PDP.
When it appeared a heated debate would commence, the Speaker made it clear there would be no debate on the matter. He also read another letter from Representative Emmanuel Udende from Benue State on the same issue. Speaking after the proceedings, however, the minority leader said the party will contest the matter in court.
There must be something to show. And if I have the vote and proceeding tomorrow, I will head straight to my party. I will call a party meeting and we'll be heading to court to make sure that we vacate their seat within the shortest period of time. Because they have negated the clear spirit of the Constitution. They have offended their own oath of allegiance. And I think what they've done clearly is a violation of the provision of Section 68, specifically sub G of the Constitution.
The next few days will confirm if this is an isolated case or the beginning of a series of defections. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
The National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja has been reopened. Last week, armed police officers laid siege to the building after the party held its national convention in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. Members of the party's Board of Trustees who briefed journalists after meeting with staff of the party says the BOT is the only organ currently allowed to operate from the Secretariat. According to the secretary of the board, Mr. Ojo Madueke, other organs of the party, including the Caretaker Committee led by Senator Ahmed Makafi, will operate from outside the Secretariat's premises until all litigation is resolved.
No court order has affected the role of the Board of Trustees. Nobody has gone to court to challenge the authority of the Board of Trustees to perform its constitutional role. And the legal political reality is that following the national convention that took place in Port Harcourt and the dissolution of the NWC, whose term of office had already expired anyway, on 24th of March, there can be no vacuum. And the founding fathers of PDP made sure that the Board of Trustees was created to make sure there is no vacuum. Now, concerning the Caretaker Committee, as you know, there are conflicting court orders. That matter is being resolved. It will either be resolved by the negotiation that is taking place behind the scene, details of which will be clear later on. So we are giving our members another opportunity to show that, in the words of Senator Mantu, we are really a reborn, rebranded PDP. To say all those that have matters in court, withdraw them and let's sit down and talk. That talk is taking place. How it will affect the Caretaker Committee, which is an issue of litigation, being able to come here and do their work, time will tell, and we don't think that will be too long from now. In the meantime, I'm sure the Caretaker Committee are working. Even if you don't see them here, they are working somewhere. Now, we are the ones who are not affected by any court order, no matter how procured. That's why we're here.
More Nigerians now have a fresh opportunity to own their homes as the federal government has announced plans to commit 40 billion naira to the provision of affordable houses for low-income earners in the country. Addressing participants at a symposium on housing in Abuja, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Mr. Mohammed Bello, said the federal government is working towards arresting the housing deficit in the country. He also announced plans by the government to establish a more robust mortgage system to facilitate the initiative.
Optimal and sustained attention should be given to this sector by all governments and various agents of positive development in Africa. In Nigeria, particularly, Providence has conferred on me the privilege of leading a democratic government which has resolved to bring about positive change across the developmental spheres of this country. Ours is an administration driven by robust convictions and relentless zeal to deploy available resources into the key sectors of the economy to place Nigeria back on the path of continuous growth and development. We are therefore very much convinced of the catalytic developmental potential of the housing sector, and thus accordingly earmarked about 40 billion naira in the 2016 capital budget to implement a comprehensive program for housing development in Nigeria.
When the News at 10 returns, our community report tonight looks at the outbreak of the tuta absoluta disease that has ravaged tomato farms in northern Nigeria and its impact on farmers and consumers.